Hi, it's Leslie Meredith from Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm here on the second day of Breakbulk Europe, and I'm joined in the studio by Juergen Osmers. Welcome, Juergen.
Thank you very much, Leslie, for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Juergen plays a big role in today's program. He will be moderating a panel of leaders from our industry to talk about business strategy and the way forward at what I think is a pretty critical time in the industry.
Yes, it is, and I'm very happy that ITE was able to secure panel members for this discussion from around the world. We will be having Ms. Nicola Hagleiter, Global CEO Industrial Projects with DHL Global Forwarding in the United Kingdom, Mr. Alex Aspirant, Director of Logistics, Commercial Strategies and Sourcing from Fluor in Chile, Mr. Rüdiger Fromm, Global Projects Logistics, Gas and Power and EPC Projects with Siemens in Erlangen, Germany, Mr. Tim Killen, Executive Vice President for the Doigo Group in the United Kingdom, Mr. Uwe Meyer, Managing Partner of the Zibon Group, Hamburg, as well as Mr. Kyriakos Panagidis, Managing Director of AAL Shipping, Singapore.
Right. You have the whole world on that panel.
Exactly, and I'm really happy about that it turned out that way.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So, what do you think some of the issues that your group will discuss?
We will discuss in the beginning the change of the brake bike industry, comparing how it was over the last 5 years and how the forwarders, the carrier, and the shipper, of course, they all have a different point of view, see it going forward for the next 5 years.
And their roles seem to be overlapping or changing as well.
Yes, definitely. Um, and there are different philosophies, particularly from the shipper side, whether to include forwarders or forwarders only to a certain extent or for the entire project, or whether to go ahead and secure certain parts of the project directly with a carrier. It's definitely a changing world, but not only for the carrier and the forwarder, also for the shipper, because the shipper, we should not forget that, he will have more and more pressure from his client to come up with a commercial viable solution, and in the very end, money speaks volumes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I know there's been so much pressure on projects we've seen in the last few years. Many big projects around the world go on hold. And I know that shippers are looking, particularly the engineering companies, looking for efficiencies. And I don't think that's going to change. Even as the market picks up and projects come back, I think the pressure remains.
I don't think it will change much, but I also believe that certain things have to change. I think we see this in the consolidation, particularly of the shipping industry. We see this also, unfortunately, in the carriers which we lost due to inefficiency or bankruptcy or whatever. I think it's for everyone, for the shipper, for the forwarders, to make sure that the carrier is also being compensated fairly for the service he is providing. And sometimes I feel like that is overlooked. For a difference of 50 cents, you might just say, okay, here's cheaper, let's go ahead. And you really don't look at all the risks involved with it.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. So, what else will come up on today's panel?
Um, Education for sure, because that's a big problem in our industry. A lot of people over the last couple of years, because of the downturn in our business, left the industries and left for other services. To find well educated younger people. And today, what is also important is to find people with IT background, because this will become a driving force also for, in my opinion, for the brake bike industry. Everything from the shipper to the carrier, the forwarder, the ports, etc. That will be a huge undertaking, the way I see it, over the next couple of years to ensure that a very viable IT platform is being secured. It will be difficult, I know, because every Breakbulk piece is different. We are not talking about containers here. For containers, it's very easy. You take the number and that's it. But here we have different dimensions, different weights, etc. But somehow this has to be put into an IT program which is accessible for the shipper, actually the shipper's customer already, to secure and to continue to watch the entire supply chain.
Absolutely. That means a lot more transparency.
Right. That's very, very important, the transparency.
Right. All right. And so, from your perspective, where are the areas of opportunity for the members of this industry?
I think one large opportunity over the last couple of years, which is developing, is Africa for sure. But Africa is also basically taken by the Chinese. They were very smart the way they went in and started building infrastructure projects in China. Of course, taking out the raw material. On the other hand, they didn't do it for free. That's for sure. But definitely, that's an area, and I believe that renewables are continue to grow. I think the windmills and solar driven will continue to grow tremendously.
Absolutely. And from what I've been hearing, that takes some new types of logistics. There are new challenges, particularly in the wind turbine blades that are growing, in size. They're tough to handle. And there are regions where forwarders and transporters haven't had that experience.
Exactly. That's it's a problem. The blades are becoming longer and longer. I think we saw this yesterday morning after the opening or during the opening session. There are, if I recall it correctly, until 2025 turbines to be produced which deliver 16 megawatts. These will be huge blades. They need to be transported. But also the installation, offshore installation, will become more and more difficult with this, because the nozzles and etc. are humongous. You don't see it when you look up on a windmill up there, but they are really, when they're down on the ground, they are really something to reckon with.
Absolutely. All right. One more question. If you could only pick one change for the industry, one adaptation or change across the entire industry, what would it be?
Better visibility of project origin, starting with the shipper through the forwarder to the carrier, for planning purposes, to really plan the entire chain smoothly. I think that is something where the shipper, the freight forwarder, and the carrier will have to come together for the benefit of the project.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and have a great session this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Les.